my YouTube channel. My name is Sabrina and I'm back with another Excel tutorial. Now in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how you can work out average in Excel, along with two other functions, which is median and mode. Okay, now if you look at my spreadsheet here, you can see I've got a table of data which displays a list of different sales agents. And then for each sales agent, you can see the sales they made in Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Okay. And then in column K, I've basically used the AutoSum formula to work out their total sales made, okay, for the entire year. So if you missed my video on how to use the sum function, you can watch it by clicking on the link above. Okay, but in this tutorial, we're going to be working out the average, the median, and the mode of these values. Okay, so what I want to do is in column K, which has my total sales made for each agent, I want to work out what is the average sales made in that year. What's the median? So median is basically the middle value of all of those values in that range. And mode is basically the most frequent value in that range. Okay, so to work out the average and the median and the mode, okay, we would use functions. Now, functions are basically pre-made formulas in Excel. Okay, so to work out the average, I'm just going to work out the average in this cell here. You would type equal. You would then type average because that's the name of the function. And you'll see that as I type average, I get a list of suggestions at the bottom. And the one that I want is the one right at the top, which is called average. Okay. And then on the left-hand side, it gives you a description of what this function will do. So you can see there that it tells you that it will return the average of its arguments, which can be numbers or names, arrays or references that contain numbers. Okay, so basically what it's going to do is going to add up all the values in my selected range and then divide that total by the number of values in that range. Okay, so what you would do then is once you've entered the name of the function, you would enter open bracket. And then like always, at the bottom, it displays what you need to, or what kind of information you need to enter in between the brackets. So the first one is number 1, then number 2, and so on. So it just basically wants you to select the cells with the values that you want to work out the average for. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I've got quite a lot of figures here, sales figures here, I'm going to select my cell range. So I'm going to click on the first cell with the first sales figure for that year. Okay, and then I'm going to click and hold and then drag my mouse down and select the rest of the cells like so. Okay, so what you'll see if you look back at the formula, it enters the cell range. So this is saying work out the average for the values between cell K3 to K18. Okay, and that's it. So I've selected my cell range. I can now close my bracket. And then you would press enter on your keyboard. And there you go. That's the average sales made in 2022. Okay, so that's the average. Now let's look at the median. So what is the middle value of all of these sales figures? So what you would do is, again, you would start off with an equal sign. So you would type equal. You would then type median because that's the name of the function. And you can see it's come up with a suggestion of that function. So now what I need to do is enter open bracket. And you basically just need to enter in the values or the data that you want to work out the median for. Okay, so again, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to select my cell range here. So I'm just going to click on the first cell with the sales data. And then I'm going to click and hold my mouse. and drag my mouse all the way down and select the rest of the values. Okay, and there you go. I've got the same cell range here. Now you could manually just enter that cell range in. You don't have to highlight the cells every time. Okay, so if you know the cell numbers, all right, so ideally what you need is you need the first cell number and you put a colon in, okay, and then you need to enter in the last cell number, and that will basically be your cell range. Okay, so once your cell range is in there, you would type or enter closed bracket, and that completes your formula. So you press the enter key on your keyboard, and that's now the middle value of all of the values in that range. Okay, so that's my median. Okay, now for the mode. So I now want to know what's the most frequent sales figures or sales value in that range. So again, you would type equal, you would type mode. Okay, now it comes up with 3 suggestions at the bottom, but the one that I want to go for is the last one. So that function is spelled correctly. Okay, so I can just type open bracket. Okay, and again, I need to put my cell range in there. So what I'm going to do this time is instead of selecting my cells, I'm going to manually enter the cell range in. So if you remember, the first cell here is K3. So I'm going to type K3. You would then type colon, and then you want to type the last cell. Okay, so just to show you, the last cell there in that range is K18. Okay, so you would type in your formula, you would type K18, and there you go. That's my cell range selected. And you'll see on the left that it automatically highlights or puts a blue border around the cell reference numbers or the cell range that you've entered in the formula. Okay, you would then enter close bracket, and that completes your function. So you press enter on your keyboard. Okay, so as you can see there, it's basically returned an NA error, which basically means that the formula has not been able to return a result for the most frequent value, okay, which is true in this case. So in column K, you won't see any values that have been repeated. So the formula is unable to return the most frequent value used in that range. Now, the reason why I wanted to show you that was just to give you an idea that it does depend on the type of data that you use when you're using these functions. So the mode might not work with this type of data, but it could work with different other types of data, for example, student test scores, okay? Now, I do have a tab with student test scores, okay? So I'm just going to go to that tab now. Okay, now here I've got a table with which lists out 5 students and their scores for a particular test in every month. Okay, now this test is scored out of 30. So there's a specific range, okay, of values which this data table has. All right, so I can easily work out the mode for this kind of data. Okay, because there will be some values in there that have been repeated more than once. So the mode function will work perfectly here. So let me work out the mode for this type of data. So if I go into this box here, type equal, and then type mode, okay? And then you would input open bracket. And then I'm going to select all of the test scores here. So I'm just going to highlight all of the cells here. Okay, and that's entered my cell range. Okay, and then I'm just going to close my brackets and press enter on the keyboard. And when you press enter, you can see it's returned a value, which is 15. So this is telling me that the most common value in that data or in that range is 15. Okay, so you saw there that for this type of data, the formula was able to return a result and we were able to work out the mode, which is the most frequent value in that range. Okay. All right. So I hope that's not been too confusing. So we've gone through how you can work out the most frequent value in a range of data, okay, which is the mode. And then if I just go back to the first tab, we also went through how you can work out the average value and also the median, which is the middle value of your range. Okay. Now the average works well with the sales type of data because a lot of the times you would want to know what is the average sales made in that month or in that year. So average is like the most common used function, and it works perfectly with sales data. Okay, so I hope that's helped. If it has helped, please do like and share the video so that it can reach out to more people. And do consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on any new videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.